off because I found out that Towanda has been using my credit card to pay her.
It started like any other messy celebrity rumor. A few whispers online, a shady screenshot, and a family name that once meant glamour and sisterhood. But this time, the whispers weren't about music or relationships. They were about the feds. Fans across social media froze when headlines began circulating that Towanda Braxton's name had allegedly landed on the radar of federal investigators. According to multiple gossip reports, the story started with a single form, a bankruptcy document from 2019, and one box ticked wrong that could change everything. And then, as if ripped straight from a reality TV finale, people started asking the question no one wanted to touch. Did Tamar Braxton, her own sister, hand over the receipts? Overnight, timelines exploded. Tamar tipped the feds, trended before sunrise. Old clips resurfaced where Tamar joked about paying Towanda's house down payment. Now, fans were dissecting every word like a clue in a true crime docuseries. Insiders whispered about hidden assets, offshore accounts, and unreported income, while the sisters stayed eerily silent. The internet swore something bigger was coming, because if these reports were true, even halfway true, it wouldn't just be another celebrity scandal. It would be a family empire cracking in real time. And everyone's asking the same question. How did the Braxton legacy turn into an FBI headline? The story picked up speed faster than anyone could have imagined. What started as quiet speculation online suddenly turned into full-blown headlines across every gossip blog. Fans were stunned as reports claimed the FBI's Atlanta division had allegedly begun reviewing Towanda Braxton's 2019 bankruptcy filing. According to those reports, it wasn't just a simple case of financial struggle. It was now being looked at as possible bankruptcy fraud. And the most shocking part? Her own sister's name was right there in the documents. Media went wild with screenshots of the filing, highlighting the section where Towanda had listed Tamar as a creditor. The amount, $35,000, might not seem like a fortune in Hollywood terms, but the context made it explosive. Tamar had publicly said that the money was a loan to help her sister with a home down payment, while Towanda allegedly told the court it was a gift. That single-word difference set off a storm. Fans were quick to connect the dots, and conspiracy threads started forming overnight. She lied on a federal form, one user wrote, and that's a crime. By morning, anonymous sources began whispering that the FBI had taken an interest in the case after discrepancies were noticed between Towanda's filings and her actual property records. Rumors claimed that a property in Georgia, once under her name, had suddenly been transferred to her husband's name right before the filing. Something that raised eyebrows among investigators. Fans pulled out old clips from the family's reality show, Braxton Family Values, showing Tamar joking or maybe warning, "I know where you live because I paid your down payment." What once seemed like a petty sister jab now felt like a confession wrapped in humor. The internet, of course, didn't hold back. TikTokers, podcasters, and entertainment commentators dissected every moment of that old footage. One clip even went viral with over 1 million views where Tamar says she paid the down payment, followed by a smirk. This wasn't just drama, a fan said in a reaction video. This was evidence hiding in plain sight. Suddenly, every word, every laugh, every side-eye from that old episode took on a darker meaning. But that wasn't all. Gossip insiders started dropping details that sounded straight out of a soap opera. One alleged insider claimed that Tamar had noticed something strange months ago. Recurring phone charges hitting her card that weren't hers. She reportedly confronted her sister, and things turned tense.
What you steal?
Stealing and helping?
But what you steal?
I don't steal anything.
You don't?
What I stole?
You stole men.
What's the man?
The confrontation, according to these circulating accounts, never made it to the cameras. "My phone bill," Tamar allegedly said during the fight. "Why is my card on your account?" That moment, if true, might have been when the trust between them cracked for good. Deeper. They found old tweets and deleted posts from both sisters that seemed to reference betrayal. Tamar had once tweeted something about family stealing from family and deleted it within minutes. Fans took screenshots, of course. Now, those screenshots were resurfacing as people tried to piece together the timeline. Many pointed out how Tamar went unusually silent on social media right before the alleged federal audit hit Towanda's case. Coincidence or strategy? No one knew for sure. Then came the emotional fallout. Every Braxton sister had always preached unity on screen, but off-screen, cracks had been showing for years. Tony, the eldest and most composed, had once said during a talk show that money changes everything. Back then, it sounded like wisdom. Now it felt like prophecy. Even Trina, usually the peacemaker, had gone quiet. There were no family selfies, no supportive hashtags, just silence. And in the entertainment world, silence speaks volumes. Still, fans tried to remain fair. Many argued that these were only reports, unconfirmed and speculative. "Let's not jump to conclusions," one commenter wrote. "These could just be mistakes or misunderstandings." But as more documents began circulating online, the noise became impossible to ignore. People started pointing to inconsistencies in the 2019 filing. Unreported business income, luxury purchases listed as personal necessities, and the timing of the house transfer. It was all adding up to a picture that didn't look good. The part that really sent shockwaves through the fandom, though, was when an entertainment lawyer appeared on a live stream explaining how a false statement on a bankruptcy form, even something as small as mislabeling a loan.
I can't wait to
I won't
see
be
it.
able to be there. That's why I was calling you.
That made me very sad.
Loan could technically count as fraud under federal law. The words 5 years in prison were enough to make people's jaws drop. And while none of this had been confirmed by official sources, the fact that it was even being discussed at this level made fans uneasy. Tamar's name kept popping up in hashtags, alongside phrases like FBI witness and federal receipts. Her team didn't comment publicly, but one insider close to her circle reportedly said she wasn't the one who reported anything. She simply cooperated when asked. Still, that didn't stop the online frenzy. Because once the internet smells betrayal, it doesn't let go easily. By the end of the week, the Braxton fandom was split right down the middle. Some believed Tamar did the right thing by clearing her name and cooperating. Others accused her of selling out her sister to protect herself. As one fan put it, "You can't blame her if she didn't want to go down with the ship." But others weren't so forgiving. They said this was the ultimate betrayal, not just of family, but of the Braxton legacy itself. And through all of it, Towanda stayed silent. No tweets, no interviews, not even a denial. Her Instagram stories, once full of motivational quotes, went dark. The only post she left up was a cryptic one, a black screen with the words, "Truth needs no defense." It didn't help her case. Instead, it fueled even more speculation. What truth was she talking about? Whose truth was it? While the internet debated, old wounds in the family started reopening. People remembered how Towanda had once been arrested back in 2005 for forgery and theft by receiving, charges that quietly disappeared. Fans dug up mugshots, old reports, and connected them to this new storm. Whether fair or not, public opinion began to shift. Some started saying it wasn't a misunderstanding at all, that it was a pattern. As the days went on, whispers began turning into alleged details. Reports claimed that the FBI had frozen certain accounts tied to a skincare business under Towanda's name, and that some funds had allegedly been funneled through her husband's consultancy firm. Again, none of this was confirmed officially, but the story had already taken on a life of its own. The mix of legal tension, family betrayal, and reality TV history made it irresistible to the internet. Then came another twist that no one saw coming. According to an insider close to Tony Braxton's management, she had quietly pulled her name from all joint ventures involving her sisters months before the scandal broke. Fans interpreted it as Tony trying to protect herself.
Remember Tony said she was going to do the bridal shower? She's not doing the bridal shower. Somebody else is making sure everything is right for the bridal shower. I mean, I just thought that everybody would be, you know what I'm saying, happy and excited and wanting to be a part of it and want to be involved, but I'm not getting in.
Others claimed Towanda was being set up, and in between all the noise, the public could only watch, refresh, and speculate. Because no matter how you looked at it, the Braxton family, once celebrated for their music and sisterhood, had become the center of one of the most jaw-dropping celebrity scandals of the year. It was messy, emotional, and heartbreaking. But most of all, it was human. A family torn between loyalty, love, and survival in the harsh spotlight of fame. And no matter whose side you were on, one thing was clear. This wasn't just another rumor. It was a cautionary tale unfolding in real time. One post, one leak, one accusation at a time. As the story deepened, what shocked fans most wasn't just the allegations themselves. It was how eerily quiet the entire Braxton family had become. Usually, when drama hit, there would be some kind of statement, a post, or even a shady comment on Instagram. This time, nothing. No denial, no defense, no laughter, just silence. And that silence started to feel louder than any statement could have been. Entertainment blogs were running wild, calling it the calm before the storm. One insider told a podcast host that Towanda had allegedly been questioned about why she transferred her Georgia property into her husband's name right before filing for bankruptcy. Apparently, that transfer was being looked at as a potential attempt to conceal assets, something federal law takes very seriously. And when people went back to old Braxton family values episodes, they started seeing everything differently. In one of those old episodes, Tamar had looked straight at her sister and said, "You know, I paid that down payment." Back then, everyone thought it was just typical reality TV shade. Now, fans were replaying that moment like it was courtroom evidence. "This wasn't just drama anymore," one fan said during a Twitter space. "It feels like we were watching a confession years ago, and none of us realized it." But the drama didn't stop there. An entertainment lawyer invited onto a daytime talk show explained that if someone lists false information or hides assets during bankruptcy, that could fall under Section 18 of United States Code 152, a felony offense. The words "false declaration" started trending. The show host asked the lawyer point blank, "Could this really lead to prison time?" And the lawyer replied calmly, "Technically, yes. 5 years, if proven." Social media exploded again. Some fans couldn't believe it had gone this far. Others thought it made sense. One viral tweet said, "How do you go from singing about family to FBI filings?" And that line became the headline for multiple entertainment pages. Meme accounts were posting clips of Tamar's dramatic reactions on the show, adding captions like, "When the feds pull up." It was messy, chaotic, and addictive. Exactly the kind of scandal the internet feeds on. But there was another twist that threw gasoline on the fire. Someone leaked an old voicemail allegedly between two of the sisters arguing about money being moved around. No one could confirm if it was real, but the voice on the clip sure sounded familiar. The caller yelled, "Don't play with my money, Wanda!" And the other voice snapped back, "You're lying like you always do." Fans were convinced it was Tamar and Towanda. The clip spread like wildfire before being taken down. But by then, it was too late. The damage was done. The emotional stakes skyrocketed. Insiders claimed Tamar had been deeply hurt and felt used. One person close to her told a gossip magazine that Tamar didn't want to involve law enforcement but had no choice once her name appeared in financial records. She was just trying to clear her own name, the source said. It wasn't about revenge. It was about survival. That quote became the heart of a dozen think pieces across entertainment outlets, all analyzing how fame and family mix like oil and water. Meanwhile, fans started noticing how the other Braxton sisters, Trina, Tracy's memory still fresh in their minds, and Tony, were subtly distancing themselves from Towanda. Trina stopped tagging her in posts. Tony canceled an event to which Towanda had been invited, saying she had schedule conflicts. One fan wrote, "This is the Braxton version of exile. When Tony steps back, you know it's serious." And honestly, most agreed. By this point, the rumors took an even darker turn. Reports began circulating that Towanda's skincare brand, which she had been promoting heavily online, had its business account temporarily frozen pending financial verification. Gossip channels claimed that federal investigators were tracing where certain funds had gone, some allegedly connected to her husband's consultancy business. Fans began calling it the skincare scam, even though no official charges had been filed. But as the internet knows all too well, perception often becomes reality. The emotional ripple reached fans who grew up watching Braxton family values. Many said it felt heartbreaking to see the sisters who once represented love and laughter now torn apart by suspicion. "We used to cry with them," one viewer tweeted. "Now we're watching them destroy each other." The comments were full of mixed emotions: anger, sadness, disbelief. It wasn't just celebrity drama anymore. It was a family saga unraveling in public. But perhaps the most shocking claim came next. According to a blog that cited unnamed sources, Tamar had allegedly turned over financial correspondence showing payments she made to an escrow account in Towanda's name. Proof, they said, that the money was indeed a loan. And when fans remembered that line from the show, "I know where you live because I paid the down payment," it suddenly hit different. One viewer posted, "This whole time we thought Tamar was just being extra. She was actually telling the truth." And then, without warning, new reports suggested that Towanda's husband might also be drawn into the investigation. Apparently, a portion of the transferred funds had been linked to his consultancy firm. Whether or not it was intentional, it created a legal mess. Lawyers began speculating about joint liability and intent to conceal assets. Entertainment. Pages were buzzing with terms like federal audit, financial review, and possible plea deal. The story was no longer just trending, it was spiraling. Through it all, Tamar maintained her silence, breaking it only once when she posted a single cryptic message on Instagram. The truth always costs something. It wasn't an admission. It wasn't a denial, but it was enough. The post got 500,000 likes and thousands of comments within hours. Fans were divided. Half said it was classy restraint. The other half called it passive-aggressive shade. And somewhere in Atlanta, according to those same circulating reports, federal officials were continuing to review documents tied to the Braxton family's finances. None of it was officially confirmed, of course, but in the world of celebrity gossip, confirmation often doesn't matter. Perception is the show, and everyone's watching. The entire saga was starting to feel less like a scandal and more like a slow-motion tragedy. Fans who'd once cheered these sisters on stage were now glued to screens waiting for the next leak, the next twist, the next shocking headline. It wasn't about music anymore. It was about loyalty, pride, and the high cost of fame. And in that silence between posts, everyone could sense it. Something even bigger was coming. As the days turned into weeks, the story refused to die down. Every podcast, every entertainment vlog, every gossip page was running the same headline with a different twist, and each new angle made the situation feel heavier. People started to realize this wasn't just a one-off misunderstanding. It felt like years of unresolved tension inside the Braxton family had finally cracked open in public. Behind the scenes, insiders whispered that investigators were quietly digging through years of financial records connected to Towanda's old businesses and partnerships. Reports claimed they were looking for unreported income streams, money that allegedly moved between family accounts and shell companies. The moment that phrase hit the internet, fans lost their minds. It sounded like a movie plot, but the emotion behind it was raw. "These are sisters," one fan wrote on social media. "How did it get to the point where lawyers and the FBI are involved?" Around that same time, old reality show clips began resurfacing again, this time showing arguments the audience had once dismissed as harmless sister banter. One scene where Towanda accused Tamar of stealing attention suddenly took on a new meaning. "Maybe it wasn't just jealousy," a Twitter user posted. "Maybe she knew Tamar was the only one strong enough to expose the truth." Comments like that poured in by the thousands. People were turning their own theories into timelines, connecting deleted posts and interviews like detectives piecing together evidence. Meanwhile, Tamar's team kept declining interviews. They didn't confirm or deny anything, only repeating one line through a spokesperson. Tamar is focused on her personal peace and has no comment at this time. But silence only made the story hotter. Every blogger took that as a sign that something was brewing. One even claimed Tamar was preparing a tell-all statement once the legal dust settled. Others said she was terrified to speak in case she became a target herself. In the middle of all the noise, Toni Braxton's name started trending again. Fans remembered how she had canceled a public appearance with Towanda right before news of the alleged investigation broke. Back then, she said it was because of scheduling conflicts, but now people weren't so sure. A viral TikTok showed side-by-side footage of Toni canceling the event and headlines about Towanda's bankruptcy. The caption read, "Toni knew before the rest of us." Within hours, it hit 2 million views, and then came a new wave of allegations. According to one entertainment insider, there were claims that Towanda's skincare company had been funneling part of its revenue through a consultancy account under her husband's name. The blog emphasized that these were only allegations, but the details sounded messy enough to keep people hooked. Screenshots of supposed invoices circulated online. Some fans believed them, others called them edited. Either way, the story spread. People joked that it felt like Braxton Family Values, Federal Edition. Throughout all of this, Towanda remained completely silent. She didn't go live, didn't post stories, didn't even like comments. Her last public appearance was weeks before the reports surfaced. Fans began speculating that she had been advised by her lawyers to stay quiet. "She's being strategic," one source claimed. Silence doesn't mean guilt. It means preparation. Still, in the eyes of the public, silence became its own answer. The emotional toll was starting to show on the rest of the family. Trina tried to play mediator, posting a vague message about forgiveness, but it backfired instantly. The comments were filled with fans demanding the truth. "Forgive what?" one user asked. "You mean fraud or betrayal?" The comments section spiraled out of control, forcing Trina to turn off replies altogether. Fans took that as another sign that the family was breaking apart behind closed doors. The story took another twist when an old friend of the family, who had once appeared in a brief cameo on their show, came forward on a podcast claiming that money always caused issues between the sisters. She described how arguments about loans and promises had been going on for years, long before the cameras ever rolled. "The show made it look funny," she said, "but off camera, there were real tears." That quote hit home for a lot of fans who grew up watching the sisters laugh, cry, and sing together. What made it worse was that this scandal landed just as fans were still mourning the loss of their sister Tracy. People couldn't help but feel that the family's grief had been replaced by division. Some fans even wondered if the stress had started long before anyone noticed. "They've been holding this in for years," one follower wrote. Tracy was the glue. And now the glue is gone. It was painful to read, but many agreed. Meanwhile, entertainment journalists were trying to contact the court for confirmation of any ongoing investigation. No one could officially confirm anything, but reporters claimed that documents had indeed been flagged for review. That phrase alone, flagged for review, was enough to keep the story alive for weeks. Each outlet used it differently, some saying it meant possible fraud, others saying it could simply mean errors to be corrected. But by then, the internet had already made up its mind. And then came the wildest rumor yet. The Tamar's legal team had allegedly provided supporting documentation when contacted by investigators. If that was true, fans argued, it meant she didn't actually report her sister. She just complied when asked. Others weren't convinced. If she had evidence, she knew what it would do, one comment said. You don't give that up unless you want to make a point. The debate divided the fan base in half. Slowly, the conversation turned from gossip to heartbreak. Fans started realizing they weren't just watching another celebrity scandal. They were watching a family unravel in public. The same people who sang together about love and resilience were now being picked apart by strangers on the internet. But that's how the cycle of fame works. Once you open the door for the cameras, it's hard to close it again. And through all the speculation, one question lingered in every discussion thread. Every video, every podcast. How far was this going to go? Would it end with one sister's arrest? Or would it spiral into something that pulled in the whole family? Because if the rumors about multiple accounts and transfers were even partly true, this wasn't just a fight between siblings anymore. This was something that could shake the entire Braxton legacy. And deep down, everyone watching knew it. The story wasn't done yet. By the time the next round of reports dropped, the internet had already made up its mind. The Braxton family was in crisis. Entertainment outlets were calling it the fall of a musical dynasty. It didn't matter that much of the information was still unconfirmed. Perception had taken over, and perception moves faster than truth ever could. The story took a darker tone when several blogs began claiming that the FBI had allegedly widened their scope, reviewing not just Towanda's accounts, but also any shared family ventures where money might have circulated. Again, nothing had been proven, but the possibility alone sent shockwaves through fans. For people who'd grown up watching these sisters on TV, it was surreal. The Braxtons had been the symbol of family resilience. And now, that same bond was being questioned in the harshest light imaginable. Insiders described the atmosphere inside the family as tense and distant. Apparently, some sisters hadn't spoken to each other in weeks. One source said, they only communicate through lawyers now. Whether or not that was true, it matched what fans were seeing online. No group photos, no birthday wishes, no reposts. Just silence. Tamar, always known for wearing her heart on her sleeve, appeared briefly on a live stream. She didn't mention her sister by name, but her tone said it all. You can love someone, she said softly. But sometimes, love doesn't mean letting them drag you into their storm. Fans immediately connected the dots, flooding her comments with speculation. Is she talking about Towanda? One person asked. This sounds like a goodbye. And maybe it was. Because from that point forward, everything changed. New allegations began to surface that Towanda had allegedly used Tamar's financial information to pay recurring bills, which investigators supposedly uncovered through linked credit statements. Again, these were only circulating claims, but they lined up too neatly with the earlier rumor about phone bills. Social media lit up with outrage. That's not just borrowing, one fan said. That's betrayal. The scandal began spreading beyond the entertainment world. Legal blogs started discussing it as a case study in celebrity family finance, dissecting how fame and money often lead to blurred boundaries. One commentator said, "This is what happens when business and blood mix. At some point, someone feels entitled. and someone else feels used. It wasn't just gossip anymore. It was becoming a cautionary tale. Meanwhile, reports claimed that Towanda had hired a new attorney known for handling financial crime cases. Some saw that as a smart move. Others saw it as a sign that the situation might be worse than anyone realized. "You don't bring in a federal defense lawyer for a misunderstanding," one blogger said during a live stream. "You bring one when you expect charges." But even in the middle of all the tension, a few close friends tried to defend Towanda. They said she wasn't a criminal, just someone overwhelmed by financial pressures and poor advice. One anonymous source told an online outlet, "She's not evil. She's just drowning." That quote struck a chord with fans. Suddenly, the tone began to shift. People started remembering that behind the headlines were real people. Sisters who had once stood side by side on stage, smiling and singing about love. But then came the final twist that no one saw coming. According to several gossip outlets, investigators had allegedly found evidence of offshore transfers connected to a consulting company tied to Towanda's husband. The blog said it was still being reviewed, but the timing was devastating. Within hours, headlines blared, "Towanda's husband implicated in concealment probe." The internet went into meltdown mode again. Fans started speculating about plea deals, cooperation agreements, and what might happen next. Tamar Braxton, usually the family's calm center, stayed completely out of it. She didn't post, didn't comment, nothing. Insiders claimed she was deliberately distancing herself to protect her brand and her finances. "She's seen too many careers end because of association," one insider said. And honestly, who could blame her? When federal terms like asset concealment and wire transfers start circulating next to your last name, silence becomes survival. Fans, meanwhile, were heartbroken. One viral comment summed it up perfectly. "We watched these sisters lift each other up for years. Now we're watching them fall apart, one headline at a time." Another wrote, "This isn't entertainment anymore. This is tragedy." And that's exactly how it felt. A slow, painful unraveling of a family once built on music, laughter, and love. By now, Towanda's legal team had reportedly advised her not to speak publicly, but a close friend allegedly said she was devastated and felt betrayed. She apparently believed that someone inside the family had cooperated too willingly with investigators. Fans immediately assumed she was referring to Tamar, and the cycle of speculation began all over again. Did Tamar report her own sister? Became the question that wouldn't die. Some called her brave, others called her cold. But everyone agreed the Braxton bond was broken. The Braxton bond was broken. The emotional weight of it all began showing online. Old clips of the sisters performing together resurfaced with sad music edits. Comments poured in under every video. People writing about how much they missed the unity the family once had. "They were role models for Black sisterhood," one person commented. "And now it's like watching the end of an era." By the time the dust settled, one thing was clear. No matter what the final truth turned out to be, the Braxton name would never be the same again. The allegations had drawn blood, and the internet had already chosen its narrative. Towanda, once the quiet and steady sister, was now the center of a storm. Tamar, the outspoken one, was being painted as both the villain and the hero. And the rest of the family? Caught somewhere in between, praying that whatever came next wouldn't destroy everything they'd built. And somewhere behind all the noise, fans knew this story wasn't just about money or fame. It was about trust, the kind that can take a lifetime to build and a single rumor to destroy. And that's where things stand right now. A family once celebrated for their love and harmony, now caught in a storm of rumors, silence, and heartbreak. The truth behind these reports remains uncertain, but one thing's undeniable. The Braxton family's story has captured the world's attention like never before. Whether this ends with justice, forgiveness, or more heartbreak, only time will tell. Fans everywhere are still asking the same questions. Did Tamar actually hand over those financial records? Or was she just protecting herself? Was this all a misunderstanding blown out of proportion, or the tip of something much deeper? And will the sisters ever find their way back to each other after this? Every day, new details seem to surface. New screenshots appear online. And more people take sides, some defending Towanda, others standing firmly with Tamar. But beyond the headlines, there's something raw and painfully human in all of this. It's the reminder that even fame, talent, and success can't shield anyone from betrayal, pride, or the cost of silence. Because when love and loyalty collide with money and mistrust, no one walks away untouched. What do you think really happened behind the scenes? Is this the beginning of a new chapter for the Braxton sisters, or the final act in their family saga? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you're following this story as closely as we are, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next update. Because with the Braxton family, one thing's for sure: the drama is far from over.